We want to show you some new video in case you might have missed it. This is widely circulating online. The brothers who helped actor Jussie Smollett stage a hate crime are doing some acting of their own. Abimbola and Olabinjo Osundario reenacted the attack for Fox Nation earlier this week. Take a look.
As we crossed the street, we said, hey, to get his attention. Hey, Nick, hey. He turned around, looked at us, and that's when we started yelling the famous slurs he wanted us to yell. Hey, aren't you that Empire? Hey, Empire fat Nick. It's MAGA country.
Oh my, this comes on the heels of Jussie Smollett filing an appeal of his criminal convictions for lying to police about what happened. Now, Court TV has reached out to Smollett's attorney for comment on the video. We haven't gotten any official response yet, but we'll let you know if and when we do. Smollett, you'll recall, was found guilty of felony disorderly conduct charges back in December of 2021. He later served 6 nights behind bars the following March, and he maintains his innocence still. Oh, you gotta watch that whole video. If you haven't seen it all, look it up. It is something. They walk through step by step what these Osundario brothers say they were told by Smollett to do. Pretty stunning stuff. Getting a lot of chatter online too. Let me bring in trial attorney and law professor Joe Richardson to talk a little bit about what this might do to the appeal. Joe, the timing of this is interesting. You know, like the sentencing, you know, that's all passed. He's done his time. He's moving on, but he's still, you know, pursuing an appeal. He's still fighting this fight. He's not going to let it go. But then these brothers putting out this video. What does this do to his chances of appeal, if anything?
Well, it's going to be interesting. I mean, you know, first of all, you know, he has already served his time and he's on the other end of this, at least in terms of it affecting his physical custody, him being in physical custody. But he wants to appeal and he's appealing, he's trying to clear his name, et cetera. And so it's interesting that these guys would come back, reenact this. The people that would have them do it, I don't know, maybe they have an agenda of their own, have them do it. But, you know, I mean, I don't know how much or how little this will be used. But, you know, ultimately, you know, a jury comes out the way that the jury comes out, and without reversible error. You don't have to have a perfect trial. You don't have to have perfect rulings, as long as there's no reversible error in how the rulings actually went. Is there a question that there's a potential that he did not get a fair shake, and therefore the appeal should actually have legs? You know, I'm not so sure, and I'm not so sure, it certainly doesn't help him that these other folks are revisiting this and reenacting it or whatever else, because there's the potential for someone to use it and to say, well, you know, it's not unreasonable that it came out the way that it did, you know, in addition to the evidentiary rulings didn't undo things, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's certainly not going to help him, but it's quite interesting that it would come out now in this particular context at this particular time.
Right. Yeah, Joe, you make so many great points there. You wonder what these brothers have been up to, you know, since that time, what's going on, why now, what exactly happened here. It's just, it's like the saga that never ends. I was actually kind of stunned when I saw it. I thought this had kind of been put to bed, but okay, he's fighting the appellate fight and, you know, certainly has had great counsel through the process. And we know he had that dramatic exit from the courtroom when he was going off to jail and he's yelling about how he didn't do this. And then when you see that, it's pretty sickening when these, I encourage anybody who hasn't seen the whole video, watch it. It's only a couple of minutes long. And the way he's explaining to they're explaining, excuse me, to Fox Nation what they were told to do by him. You know, it's really, really, really sickening for people who are actually victims of hate crimes, people who are actually victims of assaultive behavior or racist or homophobic attacks. Like, and here, to think that this was conjured up by him for some reason, who knows, you know, and then he allowed the city to spend so many resources trying to find the perpetrators when he's the one that paid them. It's really offensive. I think it's offensive to a lot of America. And I wonder if there's going to be any response by him. What do you think, Joe? Do you think his lawyers are going to touch this at all, put anything out into the media about Jussie's official response to this play-by-play being released?
You know, the appeals court is another is another field, is another playing field, right? And so, I think the most important thing where their focus belongs is on having a successful appeal. The only way, thinking out loud, that this comes into play where they would mention it is that if there's some lending to bias or whatever else, depending on what it is that they're alleging in the appeal. I'm not familiar with all of the grounds. If you're talking about the jury was unfair, okay, then now you're saying that this is consistent with that and this shows how people thought and how this was put in the public, et cetera. I don't know that he gets a lot of mileage out of that. And same on the evidentiary side. That's where the focus belongs, and that has very little to do with what Fox Nation says and does, frankly. So it doesn't help him. But, if I'm them, I would probably stay focused on the actual appeals court, which is this is not the court of public opinion. That's a separate battle, but it's a different thing.
Yeah, that's very true. Very well said, Professor. Joe Richardson, always great to have you on Court TV Live. Thank you kindly for your time and analysis this morning.